guys, Will here with W.T.F Car Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing this all-new 2022 Hyundai Veloster N. And before we start, I want to give a huge thanks to Jonathan and the rest of the management and staff here at Brandon Hyundai here in Tampa, Florida for making this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car or truck in the Tampa area, I'll definitely recommend checking these guys out. And for those of you guys who don't know, the Veloster has been Hyundai's sporty subcompact hatchback since 2011. That's when the first generation was released. Fast forward to 2019, Hyundai released the second generation Veloster. Coming alongside of it, this N trim level featuring a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder motor, making 275 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, making this a seriously high-performing hot hatch. The 6-speed manual variant, you can expect 0 to 60 around 5.5 seconds. You upgrade to this $1,500 optional 8-speed dual clutch transmission we see here. You can expect 0 to 60 around 5 seconds, maybe even quicker if you get a good launch. This vehicle does have available launch control. You can set it to around 2,500, 3,500 RPM, get the perfect launch, and then you can expect 0 to 60 possibly quicker than 5 seconds. I've seen people reach 4.9, 4.8 seconds in a stock Veloster N. With the 6-speed manual, the Veloster N starts at $32,500, $34,000 for the 8-speed dual clutch. What do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, you notice your full LED headlights with the daytime runners beneath down here. Projector beam with the high beam in the center. Halogen turn signal right next to it. Black headlight housing looks very aggressive with this flat white paint. Not a metallic, unfortunately, but still looks really good, especially with the black accents and the red lower diffuser area. The grille, you see the N badging right on the side, Hyundai badge in the center. Ton of airflow for this radiator and intercooler for this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. Functional airflow in the corner, aiding your aerodynamics on the side. And no functional airflow for the center portion. You notice the honeycomb, but still looks very aggressive, especially with those red accents with the shark fin, sharp style beneath. Really liking this front end. Definitely a very aggressive looking vehicle. I really like this front styling. The main competitors for this car, of course, are the new Mark 8 Volkswagen GTI and Golf R, although the Golf R is significantly more expensive. That car starts around $43,000. The GTI has comparable performance with the dual clutch. The GTI can get 0 to 60 around 5.5 seconds. So I guess those vehicles are comparable. However, the GTI will have a much more premium looking interior. As far as the wheel and tire setup, this is also where this car is going to shine. Here we have these really nice 19-inch rims wrapped in Pirelli P0 summer tires, really helping get this 275 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque to the ground. Dimensions are 235/35 R19s. Brake calipers also large, 13.4 inches for the rotors up front. Nice N specific brake caliper. Before, this used to only come equipped in the performance package, but for 2022, since this is the only trim level available left for the Veloster, we get a standard performance package on this car. Black mirrors, LED turn signals on the mirror. I'm liking the black trim surrounding the windows. Black B-pillar. We can get a quick look at this window sticker. As you mentioned, great warranty, 2022 Hyundai Veloster, and pretty impressive advanced safety features. As you see, we get the N-exclusive electronic stability control, forward collision avoidance assist, and blind spot collision warning, lane following assist, lane keeping assist, front and front side impact curtain airbags. Technical features include this 2-liter turbo, gasoline direct injection with 275 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed wet dual clutch, N-Green control system, normal, eco, sport, and N and custom, N-Green shift and N power shift, rack-mounted motor-driven power steering and corner carving differential with N power sense axle, 13.6, not 13.4 inch for the front brake rotors, 12.4 for the rear, electronic control suspension with 5 G4 sensors, sport exhaust system with variable valve system. Outside, we get these 19-inch alloys wrapped in 235/35 R19 Pirelli P0 summer tires, LED headlights and LED taillights, gloss black side mirrors with turn signal indicators, 2-stage rear spoiler with integrated third brake light. Interior includes this pretty decent Infinity premium audio system with a subwoofer, 8 speakers, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and light sport front bucket seats. These seats are really impressive. We'll check that out once we hop inside. An exclusive leather wrapped steering wheel and exclusive gauge cluster with LED shift timing indicator. I'll throw in the POV camera for this test drive and you guys can really check that out. An exclusive proximity key with entry, push button start, and exclusive floor mats, auto climate control, and all of that. Total vehicle price starting at $34,000 after $75 of the rear bumper applique, $65 wheel locks. It's a little tough to see with the sticker on the glass, but after a $1,000 destination charge, expect the total vehicle price to be sitting right at $35,000 Fuel economy, not the best. 22 combined MPGs, 20 city, 27 highway. That's not why you buy this vehicle. Really aggressive rear spoiler with some carbon flash trim outside of it. LED taillights, they say Veloster on them. Gas tank not pushed open. I'll show you where the gas tank latch is inside. And again, for the rear wheel and tire setup, same rims and tires, but I am liking that red painted rear caliper. Rear end styling, the hatch, the glass, not the largest, but it doesn't really affect the visibility out rear. I like the triangle shaped third brake light and badge on the side. Hyundai Veloster in the center. Super aggressive rear diffuser area with your dual exhaust tips. But let's start this 2022 Veloster N up and hear how she sounds. All right, guys, that was, of course, the sound of the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder sold by Hyundai for the Veloster N. And as soon as you figure out this latch, pretty heavy hood, actually, and we don't get struts, which would be expected for a vehicle in this price range, but we'll put the prop rod right in and we can check it out right here. 2-liter GDI turbo, making 275 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, made it to this 8-speed dual clutch. You can expect 0 to 60 around 5 seconds, maybe a little quicker if you get a perfect launch. Battery on the driver's side, not really going to help with weight balance, but the motor does pull or is pushed to the left quite a bit. Not quite sure if you can pick up the turbo back here. And above the turbo, you notice this aluminum stick connecting your 2 strut towers, functioning as a strut tower brace, but we'll get this prop rod closed up, shut this hood, and we'll take one more step back and get a look at the front styling. LED headlights, really digging the front styling on this vehicle. I personally prefer like the Mazda 3 turbo as far as its front end styling, but I do believe this Veloster N looks much better than the new GTIs. As far as the interior, we can take a step in here. Smart access for the driver and the front passenger. I'm really liking that side skirt too, if I didn't notice, the red accent and a small flare helping out your aerodynamics on the side. We'll take a step inside. Unfortunately, the entire door panel basically will be hard plastic. Soft touch for where your arm will rest. Auto one touch for the driver. All the other windows are still power, of course. Only one window in the rear. Of course, there's no door for the driver's side. You do get a second door on the passenger side. We'll check the back seat space out throughout this review. 4-way adjustable mirrors, more hard plastic. Not the highest quality door panel, but you don't buy this vehicle for the door panel. Solid storage down here, and aluminum nameplate as you step inside. No power seats, unfortunately, but the seats are still really comfortable and supportive. And illuminated little logo right up top. The headrest is fixed to the seat. But as far as this interior itself, let's take a step inside and really check it out. So first thing I noticed is the steering wheel. Pretty thick. Hyundai and Kia have been killing it with the steering wheels lately. Massive paddle shifters. They're plastic, but they have an aluminum feel to them, and they look really high quality. The horn area, rubberized texture as far as the horn itself. Pretty aggressive, not the most aggressive, but people should still definitely get out of your way. The steering wheel has the N badge on the bottom of it. No flat bottom, not the biggest deal. I'm still a real big fan of the steering wheel. Perforated 9-3 area with a nice 10-2 bolstering notch. Voice commands, AM, FM, Sirius, volume, skip, phone settings, drive mode select. You can control between eco, which makes the exhaust quieter. Normal leaves the exhaust quiet, and sport makes everything sound nice and aggressive. Really liking the way this 2-liter turbo sounds. But anyway, on this side you have your N mode. So you press this button and it makes the ESC in sport mode, and you can also adjust N mode in these custom settings over here. You can adjust your ELSD, exhaust sound, transmission, engine, suspension, steering, and ESC. All that's adjustable right over here. We also get the performance timer, G-force information, oil temp, engine temp, average speed. Performance options include launch control. You can adjust the RPM that you use for launch control. We have this really large abandoned proving ground parking lot here, so we'll try one 2500 RPM launch in this review just to see how this car can accelerate off the line. We're not going to do a 3500. Wouldn't want to spin these tires too badly. This vehicle has great traction, however, with these 235s summer tires up front. Really fun to drive. Shift light You can see it starts to light at 6,700 RPM. We'll check that out once I strap on the POV. N-Track Sense Shift automatically activates the approaching shift program when dynamic driving is sensed, and Power Shift enhances acceleration performance and direct drive feel by optimizing shift response. Available in Sport Plus transmission mode. All those are activated in Sport Plus. We can also take a look at the map right here. Pretty high resolution. Hyundai and Kia have been killing it with the systems. Great response, really impressive. 8-inch touchscreen, 8 speakers, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything you can possibly want or need. It's just materials are not going to be high quality at all. Hard plastic throughout this entire interior. No auto dimming rear view mirror. You can dim it with this little latch. But your driver assistance right up front with your SOS2 to the left of the steering wheel. Interior brightness, lane keeping assist, and you can turn on or off your blind spot monitoring if you'd like for one reason or another. Down here, your fuse box, hood release, gas tank release, and you can get a good look at your aluminum plated pedals. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel too. The wiper stocks have a really satisfying click. Auto headlamps, no rain sensing wipers, but you can adjust the intermittent function with this stock right over there. 6,700 RPM red line, N badge on the tach, coolant temperature. Speedometer goes to 180 with the gas level too. The digital display, you can see the gas left in the tank up top, gear you're currently in, a compass. It also functions as a turn-by-turn when you have the GPS hooked up, since this vehicle does come equipped with GPS. All adjustable right here, so you can adjust. You can also see the tire pressure, attention level, and the lane keep assist, all available at all times. G-force monitor too, lap timer, and your gauges. Shows you your oil temp, torque, and turbo. Pretty cool to look at all times. Fuel economy too, accumulated info, drive info, and a digital speedometer. My personal favorite is probably just to look at the digital speedometer. We might drop it into the G-force actually for the purpose of this review. The NGS button on the steering wheel activates the N-grin shift. The current N-grin shifts conditions have not been met, but that's the button for it. Your lane keeping assist right next to it. The gear selector controls the 8-speed dual clutch transmission. We can take a look at the backup camera right here. Not the best resolution. We do get guidance lines and trajectory, so you still see just about everything you need to see. The manual shift modes are in the proper directions to upshift and downshift. You can put it right back into park. Everything goes immediately back into the map. But also, one thing I noticed is the steering is surprisingly heavy on this N-Line. This vehicle has an engine-assisted steering rack, not the typical electric that we're used to nowadays. Really good feel, really impressive, this vehicle so far. Behind the gear selector, you notice 2 cup holders with a pass-through. They're not rubberized. Pretty soft when it comes to the armrest. The center console space, decent, pretty good depth. I'd expect you to fit 5 16-ounce cans in there with no issues whatsoever. Glove box, you pull this latch, opens right up, nice damping to it. Pretty large glove box. I'd expect you to fit between 20 25 license plates. But that's about it when it comes to this interior, guys. Sunglass holder up top. Let's check out the back seat, see how much space is offered back there, and then take this car out for a drive. All right, guys, stepping inside the back seat of the 2022 Veloster N. Hard plastic for all the materials. Soft armrest, though, and you have window control back here, too. Infinity labeled on the speaker. We can take a step inside. We're going to have to duck because the roof is really, really low back here. Almost smacked my head. But still, pretty decent amount of legroom. It helps that the front seat is angled upwards a little bit, but plenty of footroom, plenty of room for my knees. 2 cup holders in the center. No air vents, unfortunately, and as far as headroom, my head is starting to get a little bit close. But what you see is basically what you get back here. You get an LED light. It's on because the door is currently open. We can hop out here, though, check out the trunk real quick, and then take this car out for a drive. So to open up the trunk, pretty interesting location. It's right underneath this little wiper stock. You press the button, lift it up, it opens hydraulically. You notice a tonneau cover, really deep drop. You can fit quite a bit of groceries in here. Don't have to worry about them flying around nearly as badly with this really, really deep drop. A little bit of secret storage with your fix-a-flat kit, lug nuts right next to them. 2 speakers and a subwoofer in this trunk, really helping the sound system out. This tonneau cover is removable, but you can leave it there and people will have no way of seeing the cargo inside your 2022 Veloster N. But that's about it for this 2022 Veloster N. Let's take this car out for a drive. All right, guys, now we're just about seen everything we need to see with the inside and outside of this 2022 Hyundai Veloster N. Let's take it out for a drive. And the first thing I notice is in sport mode, the steering is pretty heavy, noticeably heavy, but you have some great feel. The shifts are also instant, throwing it in right here. Wow, great handling, guys. Wow, fantastic. We got this huge empty parking lot here. once that boost kicks in, this thing absolutely flies. But I told you we'll try one 2,500 RPM launch. So let's get ourselves set up right here and give it a shot one time. All right, guys, we got the launch control activated for 2,500 RPM. Floor the brake pedal with your left foot, floor the gas pedal, and go. Ooh, this car can flat out rip. This is a really, really fast car. It could have launched even harder because 0 wheel spin off the line. These sticky tires, these not Pilot Sports, these P0 Pirelli tires do an excellent job getting this vehicle hooked. Really, really impressive grip. We'll activate these paddle shifters right here. Ooh, those crackles and pop sound. Fantastic. And stepping out right here. Second gear. Yeah, the ride quality is rough. This is not a smooth ride whatsoever, at least not in sport mode. However, the handling is truly, truly excellent. Stepping right here. Ooh. Guys, you can hear the stuff flying around. Sensitive gas pedal in sport too. Definitely not a ride quality kind of car. On the gas though. Ooh. Wow, this thing really flies. This is a fast, fast car. But you hear a reasonable amount of road noise too. Not the most exhaust noise. You can kind of hear the stuff flying around. Ooh. Throwing it in though. Wow, it feels so sharp when it comes to handling. This crackles and pops. Wow. But I'm going to throw in the POV camera and try to give you guys a first-hand look driving this Veloster N, and I'll catch back with you in 1 second. All right, guys, stepping back out here in the Veloster N, lean into it, second gear. Whew. Thing just flies. Come on, man, what are you doing? All right. Absolute blast to drive, guys. Stepping back out into the roundabout. Really sharp. But again, the ride quality is really not where this car is gonna exceed. Wow, these shifts are lightning quick. Whew. All right, guys, we're approaching this multiple lane highway. Should give us a good opportunity to... What the hell are you doing? But all right, guys, we got a multiple lane highway. Should give us a good opportunity to open her up a little bit right here on the gas. Whew. All right, guys, regular acceleration right here. We need to make a left turn. Yeah, very sensitive throttle. That was only like about 5th throttle. As soon as the boost kicks in, this thing just takes off. But we can throw it right back into just normal mode. Let the engine do its thing. Calm down a little bit. The steering gets significantly lighter. If I was driving this car every day, however, I'll probably leave it in sport because the ride quality really doesn't improve that much in the normal mode, and sport mode really livens the steering up, makes the throttle more sensitive. The exhaust sounds cooler. You don't buy this car because of comfort mode, because again, even in comfort mode, it's not really that comfortable. All in all, guys, I am really impressed with this 2022 Veloster N. This thing is an absolute blast to drive. Just cruising along around like 45 miles an hour. However, you hear a decent amount of road noise. The isolation from the cabin's not that great. Again, the ride quality is not that great. You don't buy this car because of its comfort and convenience and stuff. However, as far as features, you have all the features you could ever want or need. Navigation, solid sound system, really quick transmission. This car is a fantastic performance car. When everything's in Sport Plus modes, really fun to drive, but don't expect it to be very comfortable. Compared to vehicles like the Mazda 3 Turbo, that vehicle has a much more premium interior. It has a much better ride to it too. However, as far as like acceleration and performance, the cars are just not in the same ballpark. This car is miles ahead of a performer compared to the Mazda 3 Turbo. And compared to the GTI, these cars are relatively evenly priced. The GTI starting around $30,000, $31,000 if you go for the 6-speed manual and cloth seats. About $35,000, $36,000 if you start optioning in some nice seats and nicer materials. However, compared to the GTI still has a much more premium interior. It's reasonably comparable when it comes to quickness. GTI will do 0 to 60 in the low 5-second range. This will do around 5 seconds, maybe even quicker. So this is quicker than GTI, but the Golf R is slightly quicker than this car, and the Golf R has far better interior. However, the Golf R is $10,000 more expensive. So if you want a raw, hot hatch, fantastic performance, this is probably the best you're gonna get, because the GTI is not gonna be quite as raw. It'll be more expensive. However, if you wanna prioritize interior and performance, I recommend going with the GTI or the Mazda 3 Turbo. However, both of those cars are gonna be relatively docile compared to the Veloster N. Other than that, I would like to give a huge thank you to Brandon Hyundai here in Tampa, Florida for making this review possible. Really impressive dealership. Inventories are starting to pick back up a little bit. So if you're looking for a new car or truck, because they do sell the Santa Cruz in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know I have endless gratitude for all subscribers. The channel is just not possible without you guys, and I really appreciate all of you for your constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars or trucks you'd like to see reviewed in this channel too. And I'll definitely try to get those videos for you as soon as possible. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I hope all of you have a great day.